Students, when did karma finally catch up to your worst teacher? When I walked into her classroom 15 years later, as the superintendent evaluating her job, Mrs. Gray was the kind of teacher who could make you feel worthless with just a look. From day one of freshman year, she made it clear that students with skin like mine would never go anywhere in life. She'd make me sit away from others, wouldn't let me touch lab equipment, and gave me detention almost daily for existing. When I scored highest on every exam, she accused me of cheating, made me take tests in the hallway under supervision. When I still excelled, she changed my A's to C's herself. In sophomore year, she failed my DNA replication project, despite it being objectively correct, then demanded I redo it within 24 hours, while white classmates got week-long extensions. Junior year brought new lows. She wrote recommendations for every student except me, publicly stating she couldn't, in good conscience, recommend people who ruin our society. When I approached her privately, she laughed. "You don't need recommendations. You'll be going to colleges with much lower standards anyway." But senior year, she crossed every line. She used her system access to change all my grades to F's. If I hadn't checked my GPA before sending applications, I would have been rejected everywhere without knowing why. The school fixed my grades, but Mrs. Gray never faced consequences. Then came the breaking point. After I got accepted to 3 colleges with scholarships, I excitedly told everyone. Mrs. Gray stared at me with pure hatred. The next day, she sent emergency letters to all 3 colleges, claiming I was her worst student. Said I harassed female classmates, never did homework, called her names during lessons. All lies, no proof. But the colleges still rescinded my scholarships. I had to take loans and sell my car to attend college, while Mrs. Gray kept teaching, happy there wasn't a black student in her class anymore. That's when I chose the long game. I majored in biochemistry, graduated with perfect GPA, earned my PhD in molecular biology, spent 15 years building a career in educational administration. Every achievement, every promotion was a step toward one specific goal. I was going to return not as the worthless student she expected, but as the person evaluating her worth. When the school district posted the superintendent of curriculum position, I was more than qualified. The board hired me unanimously. My first duty? Annual teacher evaluations. Walking into Mrs. Gray's classroom 15 years later and watching her face go pale was worth every late night studying to prove her wrong. "I'll be evaluating your teaching methods," I said. She went crazy. "No, that can't be. You're just—" I showed her my superintendent ID. She went silent. She knew I remembered everything, and now I had the power to act. Over the next weeks, she desperately overcompensated, being fake friendly to minority students. Too late. In our post-evaluation meeting, I pulled out a thick folder, documentation I'd been gathering from former students who'd reached out after hearing about my appointment. Complaint after complaint. Discriminatory behavior, grade manipulation, hostile environments. Her face went white as I read each incident aloud. "I'm recommending immediate termination for violating district anti-discrimination policies," she cried, begged for another chance, claimed she'd grown and learned, then mentioned she hadn't saved for retirement, her life would be destroyed. "You should have thought of that when you decided not to treat students equally," I said. Within 2 weeks, she was escorted out, teaching license permanently revoked, no pension. Her 23-year career ended not with retirement parties, but with the realization that the student she'd tried to destroy now held her fate. Sometimes the best revenge isn't immediate. It's becoming everything they said you'd never be, then using that position to ensure they never hurt another student again.